Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry it's been like 2 months since my last few videos. I was meaning to keep doing them and I wanted to, but I just was too busy. There's too much going on. Lots of extra working on my schedule and stuff. It's just busy time of year for massage therapists because everybody's getting cold, the weather's changing, it's not summer anymore, the fall's getting chilly and everybody wants a massage because they're all getting tense and sore and stressed about the school year and college and everything again. So yeah, anyway, I have been busy working a little bit of overtime with that. Anyway, so that's why I haven't been keeping up on any of my videos. But today I want to do a video on my IUD and that type of birth control, my view on it, what I first thought it did and what I now know it does, and how I had a few miscarriages while I was on it, and how the removal of it went and stuff like that. So I had the CopperT IUD, just this plain simple one. I didn't have the Marina, the one with the hormones in it. I just had the plain simple one. I got that one because I'm not comfortable with any other birth controls. About 2 months after having my daughter, I was trying to decide on a birth control, and I was nursing, so there was lots of them that I couldn't use, and I don't like my hormones being altered by medication. It throws me off and makes me act all wonky. It's like pregnancy hormones all the time, which, if you ask my fiance, you'd know that I'm crazy with pregnancy hormones. It's just bad news. So, sorry my voice is really rumbly. I'm getting over a cold, so it's still kind of scratchy and nasty sounding. What was I talking about? Yeah, my IUD. So I had it for like over a year. Well, yeah, till like a month ago. I just had my period, and it was my first period, like, not having an IUD. So it felt good to have it taken out. But anyway, totally going everywhere here. I wanted to make a video on it because, like, some people are okay and, like, love this type of birth control. I wouldn't get it again because of my experience with it. It worked fine for, like, the majority of the time that I had it. Like, I never got pregnant on it or anything. It didn't cause me pain. I had a little bit of extra heavy periods, but my periods are just kind of crazy as it is, so I didn't really know if it was from that or not. And yeah, just like a few months ago, I started noticing like pregnancy symptoms while I was on it, and I was like, no, I can't be pregnant. I'm not supposed to be pregnant. I'm on birth control. Like, that'd be really messed up. So I tried to ignore it, but like I felt completely the same as when I was pregnant with Neveah before like I found out. Like the same symptoms. My boobs hurt. I was super moody and emotional. One weird symptom that I think is probably just me. For some reason, I get bladder infections when I get pregnant. I don't know. I had them quite often when I was pregnant with Neveah, and I hadn't had a bladder infection since being pregnant with her, so then all of a sudden I found out I had a bladder infection. I just felt like crap, and and I never took the medication for the bladder infection. I'm all about the natural stuff, so I use essential oils and stuff like that to get rid of things like that now. But and I was just nervous. I was like, no, I think I might be pregnant. I think I really might be pregnant. So I tried to avoid taking any medications and stuff like that. So I tried not to get too crazy thinking about being possibly pregnant because, like, I knew Jeff wouldn't be convinced. He was like, no, you have birth control. Why the heck would you be pregnant? And because it shouldn't happen. But what I found out from doing a bunch of research during that time is how an IUD, just the CopperT one, it doesn't have any hormone, like how it actually works. So it's just sitting in my uterus. The way it works is it's just a foreign object making your uterus like a not safe environment to have a baby implant. And so, but the part that it doesn't have anything to do with is an egg fertilizing. or getting fertilized, sorry. So in your fallopian tube, like, the sperm can still make it past the IUD and keep going, and you can still get a fertilized egg, and then from the point of it being fertilized to the point of it trying to attach but then can't because it's not safe, I felt pregnant. And so I was feeling pregnant, and then it should have been around my period time, and I didn't get my period, so I was really paranoid and started taking pregnancy tests. They were negative. I got just like the dollar store brand ones because I didn't want to waste a bunch of money on them. And so I was just like so confused. I'm like, I still don't have my period. I still feel pregnant. What's going on? And then about 6 days after my missed period, I finally got my period, but it was like crazy period. Like totally way too much bleeding and super full of clots, and it was just not normal, and it didn't feel good. I felt very emotional, just crappy. I don't know how to explain it. I just didn't feel right. I felt like it wasn't a normal period, and in the last test that I had taken, I swore I could see a line, but Jeff looked at it and he's like, no, I don't see anything. So it might have been in my head. I don't know. To me, I say I had a miscarriage because, I don't know, I just completely felt like I was pregnant. It was the exact same feeling and symptoms as with Neveah. And I was just convinced that I was pregnant. And then when I started bleeding, like obviously I wasn't pregnant anymore. And I felt that I was miscarrying. It was just so full of stuff that was making me uncomfortable. It was just like every time I went to the bathroom, my pad, there was just full of clots and tissuey chunks, and I was like, this isn't normal. I don't normally have this in my periods. This is just messed up. I went to the doctor, and they were like, well, you never know. It could have been, like, who knows, but it's unlikely because of the IUD. And they're just convinced that they're, like, foolproof, so of course they're going to say, oh, no, you weren't pregnant. But I think that I was, and so I call it the miscarriage that I had, because I feel like I had lost a baby. Of course, it wasn't the same amount of grief that you would go through if it was like farther along, because I just can't even imagine that. I know people have to go through that sometimes, and I know it would be like the hardest thing in the world, because even that early, like at 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, whatever I was, even that was heartbreaking just to think about. That could have been your baby. And yeah, it's just hard to wrap your mind around. But so I had that happen twice, 2 months in a row. And I was just getting tired of it. I was super uncomfortable with the fact that I could get pregnant. I was getting a fertilized egg, and I would have a full pregnancy if I didn't have that stupid IUD in there. And like I wasn't planning on being pregnant, like I wasn't, but it would have been fine. It wouldn't have been like a horrible thing if I was pregnant. So I was like, why do I even have this thing anymore? Like Neveah is 18 months old, or she was almost at the time, so like I'm okay with having another baby. Me and Jeff have been talking about it lately, trying to plan it a little better, because the first time wasn't planned. We'd only been together for 6 months, and then we were already pregnant. So this time, second time around, we were planning to do it a little bit better and know what we were doing. But like everything's good. We both have good jobs, live in a great house. Like wouldn't be a problem with having another baby right now. And so we still haven't like decided, like we're not trying, but like I don't have an IUD anymore, and we haven't been using any other protection, so it's just kind of like if it happens sort of thing, I guess. He doesn't care and I don't care, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, my view on the CopperT IUD, just in case anybody's looking it up and trying to find information, because when I was looking for information, it was really hard. There was like 2 YouTube videos of people that had this happen. So it's pretty rare, but yeah, it does happen. Some people just might be not aware of it going on and just kind of thinking it's nothing, and it might be happening. You just never know. It bothered me. Some people, they might not care, but for me, it bothered me a lot that I could get a fertilized egg, feel pregnant, but then get like a heavy period. So like a chemical pregnancy, I guess you could call it. So that's kind of my story with the IUD. And then, so I had booked an appointment to get it taken out, and I So I went to that appointment, and Jeff was with me. He was all uneasy because it's just an uncomfortable doctor's appointment. Doctor's staring at your crotch, trying to take the IUD out, and he's sitting there like, this is fun. And he was a little bit nervous because he knew that I'm uncomfortable with any other birth controls, so he's like, what are we going to do? We hadn't for sure talked about what the plan was after that, but we've got it figured out now. So yeah, doctor took it out. I was kind of nervous that it would be painful. It wasn't painful to me. It was like a slight pinchy feeling when they put it in, like a slight period cramp ache that went around my sides, but like it only lasted like a couple seconds, and I was like, oh, that wasn't really that bad. And so getting it taken out, I wasn't too nervous because getting it in I thought would have been worse than getting it taken out anyway. But getting it taken out, I didn't even know that he was finished. Like, it's just like getting a pap. You have your knees up and you're just like, do, awkward. And then he's like, oh, okay, and sorry. He was a really funny doctor. He kept saying, thank you, sorry. Like, I'm like, okay. He was like humming while he was taking it out. It was really, really funny. I was trying not to laugh at him. So he just had his little tool thing, and it sounds nasty, but just yanked it out. And he showed it to me, and he looked at it. He's like, that's one of the old versions. And I was like, what do you mean an old version? Like, they gave me an outdated IUD, that's why I wasn't getting pregnant on it. And he's like, well, probably, because I explained to him like what I thought was happening. And then he was a pretty good doctor. He wasn't like the other ones I've talked to where they're like, oh no, that wouldn't happen. He actually told me the truth. I explained to him what I thought happened with it and how you can still get pregnant on it. It's not really stopping you from conceiving. Like, it's just stopping you from like keeping your baby in your uterus, having it implant. And he was like looking at me like, yeah, that's what happens. To be totally honest, is what he said. But then when he took it out, he looked at me like, I don't know why they gave you this one. And he wasn't the same doctor that put it in. It was a different one at the time. He was confused why I would have been given that one. So that made me a little uneasy to know that I had an outdated IUD, like the old version that they used to use, where people got pregnant all the time, apparently. So yeah, that was interesting to find out. I'll make sure I get the proper one if I get one ever again. And if I get one ever again, it wouldn't be the CopperT one, just the plain one. It would be the one with the hormones, so that I wouldn't even get the fertilized egg. The reason I go for that type of birth control is because I'm really bad at remembering to take pills and change a patch or any of those ones. I've tried them. They don't work for me. I'm horrible. I have a horrible memory. I never remember to change them or take pills. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, so the IUD removal, some people I saw on YouTube, I looked it up and they said that it was painful. It was very uncomfortable for them. For me, like, I didn't even know he had taken it out yet, and he was already looking at it, and I'm like still waiting for the pain. Like, he was just like holding it. He was like, oh, He's a really funny doctor. Sorry, can't talk. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this video. I've been really wanting to talk about that, just in case anybody else is looking for information on it. If you have any questions, you can put them and I'll answer anything. So now Neveah is 18 months old. She's just napping right now, so she's not pestering me at all while I'm trying to do a video. And she, man, she's just growing up. She's talking so much and just basically running around now. And for the first time yesterday, she peed in her potty. So 18 months old seems pretty early to me to be potty training. But she was so curious about the toilet, we've decided to get her a potty, and I've been just sort of gently showing it to her, like, so, like, when I go pee, I'll go and put her on her potty too, and we'll both go to the bathroom, but she never does anything. If anything, she'll stand up and pee on the floor instead of in the toilet, and it's very frustrating and messy. Or she'll run, as soon as she's naked, she'll go, like, burst and run off and be fun, like, I'm naked, running around the house. And then pee on the floor somewhere else. So I hadn't really gotten into being strict with it because she's still pretty young. It's hard for them to understand at this young. So maybe I should have done like a separate video about this. I won't talk too long on it. I just wanted to quickly throw it in there because there's not too much new with her other than that. But yeah, and then my mother-in-law was babysitting while I was working the other day, and that's when she peed on the potty. She just did the same thing I do, sat her on the toilet while I pee, or while she peed, and then she peed in the toilet, and she was like, oh, she actually did it, and so she was like, oh, good job, and making sure she knew it was a good thing. So, and she hasn't done it since then. I tried last night, but we didn't make it in time. She'd already peed in her diaper. Oh, and I just started hearing her talk. She's up from her nap, so that'll be the end of the video. If you guys have any comments or questions, just let me know. Okay, talk to you later.